Hi, so this is what's new in 2016.1. So we'll go through rapidly the lists here, not to all the bugs, but quickly. So first of all, there's a lot of changes inside the display here and how things are done. So we've moved the tabs to the right, and we have the scene graph here. We've cleaned the logged output, but you can always open it using shortcut keys like L for log, M for MDL presets, and O for the scene options. You might not need all of them all the time, so it's very useful to have a quick key to open them. So let's just open scene. So you might have seen this new demo scenes available. If you download, you're gonna start downloading all of them. You can open the location here, and what will happen is it's gonna open a FTP site, and you can just drag and drop also to your scene here. For example, I would like to have this one and maybe animals both. If I drag them over my opening file, it will actually copy those files from the FTP directly. If you missed this page and you want to find it again, I will show you this in a second. So this has been completed. You go Heal, Help, and you go to FTP Demo Scene Server Scenes, and it reopens this thing. So for example, if you go Open, and you have this, you can always select one of the scene and bring it to your local drive. So we'll just open quickly one. So one thing that we have added here, the scene graph is way faster. It displays quicker. We've also showed the F keys related to each camera. So let's just check here that I'm using descaling 2. I like to have an animation which is about 1 second. I don't like to have the F key to change my resolution, neither to change the tone mapper. So I can press the F2 key or F3 key to get to one camera, but I can also double click on one. That also works. You can select objects, of course, but if you double click, you frame on them. One thing we've added is if you select two objects like this, in edit here, you can group them. You can just name, and then you have a new group, which is pretty convenient. So now I can frame on both of them. On the camera over here, you have now buttons, for example, to open directly the tone mapper. You can also open the environment, having this image-based lighting. I will explain this in a different video tutorial. We have lens presets, so you can choose different type of lenses. For example, the spherical lens or some physical. You can select here the type of model. If I like to have a Nikon 14, there you go. And if there's some lens that varies, for example, this one, 24-70, you can play with 24 and 70 here, and that contains the real distortion of the lens. Let's put it back to none here. We have separate the backplate, so you can choose a color for your backplate right here, or you can choose a texture as well. For example, I would just check this thing right here, and if you clicked on select material, you can have an access directly to the material that, or the function that was attached to the backplate. And here you can just start playing with those ones. Back to the camera, no textures, no backplate. And I'm gonna open the preset, and I would like to choose something here, user displace. Now the displace here, it's something we have added. So and that object here needs a base material. So I'm gonna add, for example, a very simple aluminum anodized to the base. And for the displacement, I will take a picture and choose the NVIDIA. Now, it hasn't been displaced, but you can go here and right mouse click somewhere at group tessellation, and making sure that your triangle mesh has some displacement. There you go. And you can start seeing it applied directly. And this here, making sure that you have the right tessellation for that. You can see the NVIDIA logo right on it. So this is new. We also have here on the bottom, we're displaying the GPUs. So I double click right on that thing here to just see it. You have the full history of your GPUs, the amount of memory. You can sample faster or slower, depending. You can save all this history to an XML and read it back. So for example, if I'm opening here the preferences, going to hardware or disabling one of the graphic card, you should see one of the graphic card stopping here. Let's go back fast here. So I've disabled this first one, and you can see that it's no longer in use. You can also open it here with the GPU measurement by clicking this button. Something interesting is when you have a very large number, you can type, for example, H and well, 3 is not enough. So let's take E7. And you can actually expose scientific notation right inside the GUI. Let's open another one, the Matroska scenes. Oh, by the way, something interesting, when you have big scenes, now I'm loading zip file, I will just save it back, save, Matroska with IVM, and then when you do this, it will save this in a binary form. So I will load it again, Matroska IVM, and now it loads way faster than before. So one thing that I wanted to show was the LPE here, LPEs. Now what we have is this dialog has a little bit more information. You have some help about all the LPEs, how to write it, and so on. But also you can choose here directly your buffers. But even better is if I go here in the green and I wanted to change this to something else, and I say apply, it applies directly. You can see it without having to quit this dialog. And I can just go. If you make a mistake, for example, I write A here, it tells you where your mistake has been made, and it's turning red because it's not valid, and green because it is. So this is pretty useful. So I press L here to show my log, and of course there's a lot of things. I have the warning, the verbose here. I can show iView. Verbose shows a lot. In the tools here, you can always turn on Developer Edition, and then you see a debug showing. And this one will show you a lot more information. Because there's a lot of information, you can limit also the number of lines. So you can just say, I want only 1,000 of lines here. And if you can just reduce this to a strict minimum, then you just remember the last 100 lines, or actually no limits, as you wish. In the Windows, we've added as well the VCA log. So if you're connected to VCA, you can see what that server is actually showing and what it's transmitting. We have as well new. So new scene actually is not unloading the scene, but it's really creating a new scene. So if I create here a new scene, I start from scratch with nothing, and you can add objects. For example, I would like to add some geometry here, a sphere, and I could add a plane here. So I have that, and in material I will just remove reflectivity, change the color like this. There's new shortcuts, for example, to get the manipulator. So the manipulator can be accessed by Control M. You can just move it down like this. We have added as well in the geometry something to rebuild the vertex normals. Cleanup is welding, it could be quite useful. In Analyze, we've added a lot of things regarding stereo. So you can render stereo in spherical images here as well. You give your eye distance. If you're using camera cycles, you can also render all your camera positions with various presets. So here I have no presets, but if I'm saving camera, so I can say Control F1, Control F2, Control F3. So now I have various cameras, they're all here. I press A to open the Analyze, and you can choose all the cameras. And here we have also support for plugins. Right now this one does nothing. If I press example, it just says that I press on it. So you can have a look inside iView plugin examples and look into the source, how you can create your own plugin. Very simple. And then you have a full access to the entire array, all the objects inside the database, and you can do all kinds of things. For example, animation, creating a geometry, deleting, or even getting extra information to your application. You can now write a scientific notation directly inside the GUI. For example, I can write 4E7 to this, and the object goes and disappears to the sky. But you can just put any numbers as well. If you would put something also very, very small, they would be exposed as well into scientific notation. What else? We have something inside the presets. For example, here in Preferences, there's a new tab, VR. There you can choose between monospherical, stereo with planar, or spherical projection. And there you can also choose to have combined image at the end with your eye distance, the number of samples, if it's going to be directly on your written to the file or connected to the queue. This is used when you press this button here that exports directly VR images. We also have new settings inside the render settings here for the new anti-aliasing data buffer. This is used, for example, if you have an object ID where you can see the aliasing. If you turn this on, it goes and alias it completely. We have in the real time as well a new shadows that you can play with the intensity and softness. And if you wanted to have more information, click on video and you'll see the new YouTube channel and find all other videos that could be interested for you. Thank you.